It's no surprise that one of the key elements in regards to what draws us as a people and a society to superheroes are the hardships that they must face. But it's also no surprise that some superheroes are absolutely battered down while others get to have lovely, prosperous lives that we can indulge in.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together with the Comic Lads. And today we are asking the question, does Spider-Man have to be miserable?
Yeah, Spider-Man is the #1 culprit of just getting beaten down by Marvel editorial.
Just having the worst life.
But I think in today's video, we really want to take a deep dive into it because Spider-Man is a character that means so much to us and everyone around the world.
Yeah, and lately I feel like one of his love interests where I'm like, I don't want to see you hurt yourself anymore, so I'm just gonna leave.
But today, before we get into our own thoughts, we do want to ask you guys the question, how do you feel about Spider-Man? A lot of people would argue that duality between getting beaten down as both Peter and Spider-Man is what makes him relatable to viewers.
But does it also have a limit before it just becomes all pain with no pleasure?
And that is the question we're going to be answering. But also, if you guys could consider leaving a like, it really helps us out.
Subscribe if you haven't already, and become one
with the Spidey lads.
The miserable lads.
The miserable lads, yeah. So we've broken down the 3 aspects in which Peter is just constantly being broken and reformed and broken again in a vicious cycle. And we've broken them down into his love life, his professional life, and his inner circle and friendships.
And we want to start it off with his love life because that is one of the most tumultuous parts of Peter's life. It always has been, but it hasn't always been this awful.
And I'd also argue that sure, there can be ups and downs in it, but there's been great periods in Spider-Man's history where his love life was like an oasis in a desert.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was like a safe haven, a place that he could retreat to when he's broken, emotionally, physically, what have you.
That's such a great way to put it because it really was like that. It was like, oh, I'm getting annihilated by villains on the daily. I'm losing my job. At least I can go home and get a hug from MJ.
I was reading the David Michelinie run recently where him and Mary Jane, finally decide to settle down and tie the knot. And sure, there are moments in that run and even further on in Todd McFarlane's run where they go through hardships and Peter, whether it be in his professional or superhero life, is getting battered. But there's always these amazing panels where he gets to come home and like you said, Mary Jane falls into his arms. Some of my favorite panels of all time are from a story like Kraven's Last Hunt, where Spider-Man's about to go off and face Kraven at the climax of the book, and he just holds Mary Jane's hand up to his. It's some of the most beautiful artwork I've ever seen with the rain pouring down, the thunder behind. Despite all the chaos, his love life can be so healing.
And I feel like that's something that's been missing from Spider-Man comics for decades now, because a lot of fans have latched onto more recent love interests of Peter. I'm thinking of Sophia Sandoval.
And recently there's Shay.
Shay as well, yeah, she's kind of cool. But none of them ever really feel genuine or sincere because they all feel like they have a ticking clock on them.
We're time bomb.
Well, you know what they feel like? They feel like filler. They feel like filler episodes in an anime or something. But it just feels like there's no stability there. And you look at a character like Superman, for example. Sure, he's had the oddball love interest thrown in there, but at the end of the day, all fans know that he's eventually gonna return to Lois Lane.
Always.
Actually, Superman's a great contrast that we want to bring up in this video because he's had kind of the perfect unfolding of his character and story by DC.
Despite other people trying to come in and break him and Lois apart, be that actual real life writers like Bendis or universe altering reboots like the New 52 where they tried to put him with Wonder Woman, we've gotten through those hurdles, and at this point in time in the comics, I feel like Superman's relationship with Lois has never been stronger. It's like a safety net that I can fall back on.
It's comforting.
It is very comforting, and the exact opposite can be said constantly about Spider-Man because we're so jaded at this point with all his relationships ending in mundane or even fantastically horrible ways. I can't be invested in Peter dating anyone.
Well, there is a very big difference too, because with a character like Superman, it's not to say that his relationship with Lois doesn't change. Obviously comics can't stay the same. It's not like we would want Spider-Man to just be, in the most stagnant relationship or situation possible.
No.
But But the difference is with Superman, it's an evolution, whereas with Spider-Man, he's constantly regressing and then evolving again, and regressing and evolving again.
Yeah, and also like burning bridges, it feels like, with Spider-Man, because I mean, barring literally a line-wide reboot, I don't see how you can ever put MJ and Pete back together organically again.
And we don't want it.
We don't want it at this point. Pete and Felicia have friend-zoned each other, so like everyone's like number 2 / maybe number 1 love interest pick for Pete, as now like they friend-zoned each other. I'm like, well, what do I have at this point?
Well, they also specifically said that like they can't be together because the relationship would turn too healthy and quote-unquote boring. So it's like
the stupidest fucking thing I've ever read in my entire life, by the way.
It's extremely dumb, and it would have actually given the fans a bit of a refresher, because for all we know, they could have still been together up until now if it wasn't for that stupid decision. And there are certain stories and universes where you have that whole notion that Spider-Man fans argue, where when one side of his life wins, whether it be Peter Parker or Spider-Man, the other one will fail. But it gets to a certain point where in the comics, they've been doing that for so long.
With no resolution.
With no resolution, exactly, that it just feels like I'm getting tortured a little bit.
It does. Reading mainline Spider-Man comics has been torturous for, I'm gonna say, decades now.
And I'm gonna say, every time I flip open like a new issue, I kind of go into it feeling like I'm trying to push a boulder up a hill.
Yeah, you're Sisyphus.
I have to like put on a brave face when I read a Spider-Man comic.
No, I have to read every issue like squinting before I open the next page.
Yeah, and again, like in the personal life, he's getting dogged on, but then you'll switch back to his superhero lifestyle and he's getting like thrashed around by Tombstone. I just feel like
despair.
My hero is getting destroyed in front of me.
It's almost like a metaphor, like Tombstone is like C.B. Cebulski, like the Marvel editorial.
Yeah.
Not only is Peter Parker's home life miserable and, like, quite frankly, often non-existent, he has no work life consistently. Sure, he's doing some Rand stuff right now, but he's also, like, in space or something, and Ben Reilly's covering for him.
Oh, and Norman Osborn is also Spider-Man?
What the fuck? And
what's
like,
going on?
I feel like they just change shit constantly, and I don't know where to begin.
I think, again, some Spider-Man fans might argue, like, well, what, you want him to still be working at the Daily Bugle? Like, what the... Guys, Superman is almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
He's had the same job for, like, 80, 90 years. And the thing is, like, Spider-Man, I like that he jumps around, but, again, sometimes it just adds to that feeling of, like, instability.
We were in such a good spot in terms of Peter's professional life during the J. Michael Straczynski run, where he was a teacher.
That was cool.
That's amazing, and that's such a great next job for him to get, because the Daily Bugle isn't a lifetime job for Pete, and even story-wise, it doesn't fulfill him, but teaching did, and it was perfect, and then we threw that all away.
Spider-Man's gone through phases where he was like a fucking tech billionaire, CEO, president of his own company, even up until like the most recent run. I do like in the first few issues of that, the writer also kind of highlights the absurdity of him always trying to like find a job and bounce around. Yeah. There's this great sequence where he's like interviewing at like 20 plus different places trying to land a job, and it's like, again, it all goes back to this whole thing where like the writers and the creators at Marvel think that the whole point of Spider-Man's character is that he's always like losing.
Yeah, and just like every aspect of his life is in a constant state of flux. Like nothing can remain for a little while.
Exactly, and that's where the whole like great power, great responsibility theme comes in, because it's like, oh, well, he would like to like settle down and be a teacher here, but the city needs to be saved. Therefore, he's gonna leave his class mid-teaching to like go beat up a bad guy, but then that's in turn gonna make him lose his job and get fired. And I do feel like, kind of leading into our next point about where we want to talk about how his social circle is always in a state of flux, I feel like the three core elements being love life, his job / profession, and his friendships, I don't mind if like one of them is in turmoil, but you can't have all three just be absolutely dog walking him 24/7.
I know, man. Who are Peter's friends now?
You know, at different points, Marvel editorialists said that his best friend is Harry Osborn, then it's been like Flash, then Rand Roberts Robertson, before when Marvel very clearly, distinctly separated both Peter Parker and Spider-Man's life. Now it's almost like they're fusing them together, and every person in his life that represented the social, human Peter Parker side of him, they're now becoming special weirdos. Mary Jane is Jackpot, then Venom. You got fucking Harry.
He was the Kindred, and then is he dead? I don't even know.
I don't even know, man.
One of his good friends now is Norman. I'm like, what are you fucking doing to me?
They're muddling the water where it's like neither side can be a safe haven for Peter. The relatability aspect of Spider-Man is out the window.
Finally, I think we've actually hit the crux of this video, and there is no relatability in Spider-Man anymore. And I know everyone in real life goes through hardships, but like, you don't read something just to be miserable and relate to that aspect of it.
There's a certain part of me that questions if I'm the one that's changed, because as I grow older, I'm just like slightly more cynical, and when I want to escape into the wonderful world of comics that we talk about weekly on the show, I want it to be that. I want it to be an escape. I don't want to like open a book and then see...
And it's just a mirror and I'm staring at myself.
Yeah, but not just that, like see someone who's supposed to inspire me and like despite all the hardship continues going forward. I feel like even Peter himself is like teetering the line between life and death right now. Like, how is he still going?
I couldn't tell you. And that also makes it feel like unbelievable too, because they somehow write Pete still being happy-go-lucky while constantly the worst shit is happening to him issue after issue. It makes no sense. Like, it feels disingenuous, you know, when he's like, you know what, Norman? I kind of like you being a good guy. I'm like, no, you don't. This is horseshit.
I hate that him and Norman are boys.
Yeah, it was interesting at first when we started reading the Joe Kelly run, but like thinking about it, it actually makes me sick to my stomach.
Well, we mentioned in another video, but it's just like,
I don't buy it.
The amount of shit that Norman has done, even if I were to like forgive him as a person, I would not want to see his face or be around a guy who has buried my mother alive. Like, or killed the supposed love of my life.
Yep.
Even if I quote unquote forgive that person, stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah, but actually, nah, bro. How about you be Spider-Man?
I can't believe it. What's weird with this video is I don't think we can really come to a conclusion.
No, we're just like stuck.
And this video I think was more just a funnel for us to like vent our frustrations through.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man I think is both of our like top 1 or 2 favorite fictional hero / superhero of all time. I love him with every fiber of my being. There are certain iterations that do kind of fix these 3 aspects that we've been talking about. Very prominently friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Absolutely. That show is a perfect example of everything we've been asking for, but it's not in the fucking like main comics, which is like the thing you want to be good at all times.
And so we do want to finish the video by again kicking it to you guys. What's the solution here?
Is there one?
At this point, so much bad shit has happened that it's made me fall out of love a bit with the character.
I agree. I really can only enjoy him in adaptations. I can't enjoy the main or quote-unquote original version of him anymore.
Guys, if you enjoy listening to us speak and want to hear more from us, we do want to remind you guys that we have our Comic Lad membership on Patreon and YouTube Live.
And on that membership, you get access to all kinds of fun perks.
A weekly podcast, 1 to 2 hours long, where you get to listen to us yap about comic book culture news. You get access to our Discord server, where you can chat with us daily.
And you get early access to every single one of our main channel videos.
So thank you to all of our Comic Lad members, and we love you all so dearly.
We love you.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.